Hey there, Cheesemeisters, and welcome back to the Peach Pod. That would have been Que Sera, Sera, whatever will be. That was, that's what the girls sang to each other in their own little sorority meeting at the end of the episode. But it's also, yeah, you have a face like you didn't hear music.
I
It's
knew they cut it
also,
off in a weird spot.
so you didn't hear them singing their song at the end of the episode?
No, and now I'm annoyed because I knew the episode ended in a weird way, and I thought they cut something from this.
Did you hear the alphas singing Alpha Omega? Did you hear them singing that when they were
No,
all lined up in there? I feel like you missed a lot this episode. That's a shame. Um,
I don't know.
oh,
I was kind of done with them when they were singing the Titans. We are but as the Omegas or whatever. I was like,
oh
wait a
God,
minute.
yeah.
That's from Remember the Titans. You stole this. Not
Well,
okay.
that's from every high school throughout the
I
history of
know.
the world. So, um, yeah, I thought that was lazy,
Yeah.
and we'll talk about it because the sorority songs are a fucking thing. Um, but yeah, no, for the alphas, they did Que Sera Sera, but they changed the lyrics, which is how it is supposed to work. That's how it works. As my limited experience walking past sororities during rush week, that's how it works.
I do not like that.
That's what they do, man. Um,
Yes, they do.
so
Yes, they do.
anyway, my name is Jeff, and I'm GDI. And joining me on the other end of the internet, my cuz-host.
I'm Leslie, and why am I not having any fun?
It's tough. You're going to the wrong parties, I think. Going to the wrong
Yeah,
disco parties. You should go, instead of the disco party, you should go to the country party or the punk party or the jock party or the theater party where everyone dresses as Alice in Wonderland and whatnot.
go to an actual disco at the sound machine and see some
That's
real
right.
dancing. This man, bunch of lame stains dancing in this episode.
I know. I tell you what, though, um, we didn't talk about this during Everybody Wants Some, double exclamation point. But I like the design, the logo design of the sound design place. I would wear that t-shirt.
Oh yeah,
So I might have to Google it. I'm sure that you can buy it somewhere.
sure.
Uh, anyway, Cheesemeisters, this week we are discussing Season 4, Episode 4, Greek to Me. Original air date, 9/29/93. Did you throw up in your mouth or throw something this episode?
I threw up in my mouth a lot. It
Oh,
was
good. Okay, tell me. Tell me what made you vomit internally.
might it have been the men ranking women as they walked down, as they
That was
walked
rough.
and existed? Might it have been that? Of course, the first thing I went was, oh, pre-Facebook.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
Look, Zuckerberg got his ideas from somewhere.
and yet we're all surprised now why he's disgusting. Uh,
No, I think we've
let's
been there
see.
for a minute.
What else? Anytime Steve was acting like a possessive boyfriend with Brandon,
Mmm.
oh my god. Um, the comments about tamping down Andrea's Jewishness, uh,
Yep.
pretty
You just don't flaunt
gross.
it. That's the trick.
When you got it, flaunt it. That's what I say.
That's right.
Um,
Flaunt
unless
everything.
that it is hatred, don't flaunt that. Suppress
That's
that
right.
shit.
All your
Gross.
isms.
Yeah. Oh my god. Brandon not being able to take a fucking note from a group, him walking out and being like, well, if I don't get to be the leader of this, find yourself another fair haired boy. I was like, I didn't even. Flames on the side of my face. I hate him so much.
Yeah. Um, Brandon is self-righteous. Um,
Brandon
it's
can
like,
fuck right off.
have you ever played D&D? Because I really haven't all that
Yes.
much. Okay. So you know how you build a character and there's different attributes and you roll the dice and it like tells you like you're a level 10 mage with persuasion, charm, skills. I don't know. I'm making this shit up. I don't know what the categories are.
I'm not very good, but I do know.
Yeah. like if you were building Brandon, one, he would be uh chaotic good or chaotic neutral.
See, I'm chaotic good, and I refuse to share that with Brandon
Okay.
because
Okay.
one of us is actually good.
Or do you think he's like what is it is it like what are the rankings? The chaotic and the what are the different rankings?
Lawful and oh, see, this is why I need to be better about
So I
this.
feel like he might be lawful evil.
He might be.
Like he
That is
follows the
maybe
rules, but clearly he's a shit.
he might be chaotic neutral too because he can't decide.
Yeah, but he's a rule follower. So like, he might be lawful. Anyway, if you were rolling his, you would take like your 75 sided die and you would roll that shit for self righteous and it would come up 80. I
Yeah.
mean, he is off the charts self righteous. Isms in his
Anyone
opinion are bad.
anyone being disenfranchised, he will speak out for. And it's messed up because it's like, oh, you clearly don't understand that when you are in power, you are not being disenfranchised ever.
Right, right. Yeah, we're gonna let's okay. Are you done throwing up in your mouth, or are there still things? Because we do have to get to that meeting in the
No,
room
I
with
know.
the Senate person, but because I have a different take on that, I think, than you do at this
Okay.
point.
I've
But
taken my Pepto. The indigestion is settling.
yeah, in Brandon's defense, not really.
No, never.
Brandon Brandon's self righteousness is offensive. All right, here's what happens in this episode, Cheese Meisters. It's rush week. Everywhere. I mean, look, Keg doesn't have an official rush. Like, if you just show up at this party, and like if the president asks you to stay, if you can beat John Sears for a flag football touchdown pass, like you're pretty much in. So like we don't even have to. I hear it's a shoe in, Brandon. We're in.
They are
That's
so
what we're doing
thirsty.
together. It's our fraternity. And the girls, there is more than one. There's one frat on campus, but there's multiple sororities. And the girls are checking them all out. They're going together, Andrea and Kelly and Donna and Brenda, checking out all the sororities, trying to get in where they fit in. And Donna is also struggling with David on the 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. shift. Look, you can't make your show a call-in show from 2 to 6 a.m.
No.
You just can't do it. It's a really bad move. You can take a couple of calls if you want, but look, Krusty the blah 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 blah. My tongue just defeated me. Blah, blah, blah. Krusty the Clown is right. What does that say? Talk to the audience. Oh, this is always death. That's what it is to go to the phone lines, you guys. That's why we don't take calls. Also, because we're a podcast.
Yeah.
You never want to go to the phones, and they're making it their entire thing. Go to the phones when everyone's asleep, except for like their friends who are. God bless their friends for listening to the show and calling in and supporting. We're all for that.
Wouldn't have been me.
No, not at
No.
2 in the a.m.
Not when I have audition classes and various things I'm singing for. Fuck no. I'm resting this baby.
Okay, I am support your friends in their artistic endeavors, guy. That's
Wow. I am too, but I gotta
me.
protect myself. Not that it's done me any good.
I don't got to my instrument is it's all up here, baby. That's my instrument. What's up? My brains. Yeah. But they're having trouble. Their show is bad. And neither of them's getting enough sleep, and neither of them's getting any, which is wearing more on David than it is on Donna, clearly.
Oh my god.
I know, it's a little rough. Not picking up the cues there, Davo. And the girls go through their shit. They all get accepted by Alpha, but then Leslie Sumner is putting the pressure on Andrea. Not the pressure. She's just like welcoming her.
Yeah.
Like she wants her to join. I kind of got no problem with Leslie here in this episode. I mean,
I should
like
hope.
she's like she like her self hatred is a little something that could be like, it's a little rough for her to like have this whole feeling she has about herself and like projecting it onto the world. Not helpful
No,
necessarily. But she just wants Andrea to join. She thinks she's all right. Like they're both only children. They both were editors of their school newspaper. They, they bond on so many levels.
they do.
Um, and it turns out they're both Jewish, which I don't know, who knows, but they are, and we know that Andrea is Jewish. It's come up rarely, but it's come up a couple of
One or
times.
two other times.
Yeah, like we know more about where she lives than what her faith background is.
Yeah.
Um, but Grandma Rose. Shouts to Grandma Rose. Hope she's feeling okay since she is the reason Andrea's here.
I know. Keep
Uh,
kicking.
I know. Get it done, Grandma Rose. Um, and but like RA Dan, and usually you're not going to hear me say a bad thing about an former RA here. But Dan also laying his shit on Andrea. This what this episode might really be about: people laying their shit on Andrea. Like my lord, it's just
Yeah.
two different people putting their Judaism on Andrea. Like I don't know how she's supposed to like carry the banner for two different people asking her to do two different things for exactly the same reason at the same time. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Andrea's so Dan is like, hey Andrea, just FYI, I'm surprised you're not joining the Jewish sorority because um like these clubs, these sororities are like Bushwood. They're a little bit segregated. It's this is an exclusive club, Wang. All right, so don't tell him you're Jewish.
But I feel like that speaks to an experience that probably neither of us have. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, yeah, that I feel like they brought up something that I would imagine people from a lot of marginalized communities really go through. Like, ooh, which leans into what I think one of the things I think this episode is about, which is will you stand out or will you blend in?
Mm. Yeah.
You know, do you accept and let the things that are you be, or do you try to blend in to make everyone else comfortable and maybe your life a little easier?
Yeah.
Temporarily, it'll only be a temporary solution because, but yeah, I very much feel like this episode is will you stand out or will you blend in?
Yeah. And Brandon's doing that. He's trying to figure like he wants to stand out, but
Unfortunately.
in order for him to stand out, like he's given two options, right? Where he can either stand out or blend in, but both of them would force him to blend in.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't want that. He wants to stand out. So I think you're right. Like initially, he's drawn to the progressives because he would be their candidate and he would be out there being Mr. running for office politician guy. Um, but they want him to be them instead of who he is, which is look, that chick is right. That Andy chick, who I'm not a fan of, she's right. Um, like all you all right, look, I don't understand why
Where are you going? Because I was like, I don't
I
have a
know
problem with her. I love that she
no
was like, you stop, you're done. I went, I like you.
no, I have a few problems with her, but um so the reason they want Brandon to run for office is because he ran the fucking Donna Martin graduates protest, which
Yeah.
look, that is some sand upon which to build a castle. Like that, it's going to fall down. You have got no support for what you're trying to put on this. Yeah, Brandon is king of holding his hand up, and that's about it. Uh, and he tries to spin it like, "Oh, we were upset that they didn't follow due process." Shut up. That's not what you were doing, Brandon. You were not Robert's Rules of Order up there. Andrea was. Andrea was pissed that Super Nintendo Epart was not following the rules and trying to slide this shit by so that they didn't build the library next to the pit in Ann Perkins' house.
Behind every man is a woman who's much angrier, poking him to do something about it because, hey, guess what? We'll listen to men, but we won't listen to anyone else.
Yeah, well, they'll listen to Brandon because he did this thing in high school once. Um, all right, digression. I'm having trouble here today with keeping a train of thought because you're right. This episode is a lot going on.
There's so much. It felt like so much. I was watching it and just like, how long is this thing?
Yeah, and like, okay, why does everyone at CU know everything about our friends?
Seriously, why?
Like
Why is this class so important?
these four girls, like sorority knows everything about them. And Brandon, Josh Richland is like, I know about you. And Josh Richland is like, I know about you, Andrea Zuckerman. That's why I'm sending you to the Peach Pit to flamethrower the place. Like everybody at this college knows everything about these 8 people from this one high school. Their Oppo research team, no notes. Good for you guys. Like they're just digging in and getting this background information.
Yeah,
But so they know all about what Brandon did and what Donna did at West Bev and why Brandon did what he did. Um, and so they're like, you know what you should do? You should be our progressive candidate. Um, Even though what Brandon did in high school wasn't super progressive,
no,
like he led a protest, but his protest was for his privileged white friend who clearly
it
broke the rules.
it's teenage shenanigans. I'm sorry, like it's
Yeah. Now, if they had wanted to say, Brandon, we would like you to run for student senate because your second junior year of high school saved 2 lives.
yeah.
You're a goddamn hero.
What
Then
if one of
I
our
would have been,
airmen died at West Bev?
that's right. No, they didn't because Brandon's there to save them. Like, but Andy, this is what I was getting to. Andy's like, we don't even know what you're about, Brandon. And he's like, well, I'm going to keep shopping on Rodeo because look at my fancy T-shirt. Ha ha, self-deprecating. And Josh Richland's over the side, like, did I get one? I got this guy. Like Josh Richland's big ass smile whenever Brandon says something, and he's like, right, he's gonna
Yeah,
be our candidate.
it's
Oh,
really
fucking nailed this
disappointing.
one.
Nope.
I mean, he's super lame. Um, so why do you want Brandon to be your candidate if you don't even know what he's about? Other than Josh Richland is like charming as fuck. This guy.
I think they tried to find someone from Beverly Hills who might be relatable. And they were like, because I mean, as Brandon loves to point out, some of my best friends are rich.
Uh-huh. And they're not elitist or racist.
Okay, this episode, another thing this episode is about is how Beverly Hill people, the frat people especially, but the rich people in this want you to believe that they are also facing adversity, that they are also having a tough time with people going, well, are you going to stop shopping on Rodeo Drive? Like, shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Just stop it. You're not, when you're fine. You are Don Draper when someone asks him, "How do you sleep at night?" on a bed full of money.
That's
You
right.
are just fine. Shut
Yeah.
up. You're not facing adversity. You're just upset that not everyone is worshiping you.
Oh, but no, the progressives are out to get them.
Oh
It's
my god.
a plank in their party to dismantle the Greek system.
Listen, some of my best friends are from there and they're not elitist or racist. I'm like, really?
Really? No, have you? Clearly, you haven't met your best friend, Steve Sanders. We should introduce
Do
you.
you not remember when you both, I almost said audition, tried out for the basketball team?
Uh huh.
And he
Yeah.
said, well, I support, what was it? I support the Lakers, or no, I support the Celtics when they're in town. Something super racist.
He. Yeah. He. No. Yeah. He. He's a Lakers fan unless the Celtics are in town. Us white guys got to stick together.
Thank you.
Yeah.
my brain was like, I don't want to remember this.
Uh-huh. No, I get it. Yeah. All
Also, did
right.
I say Celtics or Celtics?
You said you said Celtics. I wasn't going to point it out, but yeah, you did. You said Celtics.
Theater nerd.
Yeah. Um all right, so I have two things that I think this episode is about, and I need to say them back to back to one another.
Okay.
Um, so one thing I think this episode is about is that Greek life is the best. It's 100% the best. They're inclusive. They're like a family. They know literally all about you when you show up, and they welcome you with open arms. They don't care who you are as long as you can chug a beer. Okay? Also, Greek life is the worst.
Yep.
They're elitist. They're racist. All they do is party. They might be anti-Semitic, hard to say. And the social fee in your school mostly goes to parade floats. There's a real. This episode is struggling to get its arms around Greek life.
Yes.
It is presenting every possible angle and not taking a stand on any of them, because if you like it, you like it. It's fine. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. It's fine. But it's an examination of the type of people who do and don't want to join Greek life, and it's trying not to. It's trying to make the Greek system sympathetic, while also pointing out that it might not be awesome.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't want to say some of our characters are shitheads.
Yeah.
But
And
we already know that.
I can appreciate this layered
Yeah,
story they're trying to tell.
it's a fine line to walk for sure. And they're trying. I mean, they introduce you to 3 different Greek people, right? You've got Leslie for the Alphas, and you've got John Sears, and you've got the president of the sorority, whose name is, I don't remember what.
Wait, don't you mean the president of the frat?
The frat, sorry. Yes. President of the
Yeah,
frat.
he was all right.
Yeah, but I can't remember his name.
He's in Princess Diaries.
Oh, Charlie. His name's Charlie, I think.
Charlie.
So those are like the 3 Greek people that you meet. And one of them, Charlie, is like, just seems like a good dude.
Yeah.
Like he went to college, he was trying to play football. He got injured. The athletic department is sort of done with him now that he's not playing anymore, but his frat, had his back. They were his brothers. They supported him. He feels at home there. And is not pressuring Brandon one way or the other, but points out to Brandon, look, you probably have to make a choice here. Why Brandon has to make a choice is a little bit beyond me, except for from the progressive side of things. He could join, like the frat should want him to be a member and running for office.
Yeah.
Because then he could represent their interests. I don't know why they want him to not.
Help their image.
No, they care. They really care. Remember when the guy from Better Call Saul said that, Howard, when he said it last week? I don't know where he went.
I don't care about them.
No, I understood. But they care about us. They've got recycling bins.
Uh-huh.
So I wish Howard was back. Even though I like Charlie, I thought keep
that
Howard.
Sounds like some shit that they started doing because someone died or was assaulted in their house and they had to cover it up by being like, look, we care about the environment.
Well, look, that's what Charlie said. He's the president of the frat house because he can put on a tie and say it'll never happen again.
Oh my God.
His job is to apologize for the shit that John Sears gets them into.
I am so
it seems like. Yeah. And so we got 2 people in the Greek life who seem to be pretty solid. Leslie has some issues with the way she sees herself in the world, and that's her cross to bear.
Her legs to uncross.
Oh, um, but then also we've got John Sears, who we're told is an asshole
Mm-hmm.
from the start. Kelly's like, "Oh no, I knew this guy when he was in high school. Um, he's a dick." And so, like, Greek life is not a monolith, is what we're presented with here. Like, there's some good people, there's some bad people. Um, it's not for everybody. Kelly and Donna are still real thumbs up for it. Brenda just doesn't feel like she fits, and is kind of checking herself out of it. And Andrea felt really good about it until she was made to confront the way that this sorority makes Leslie feel about being Jewish.
Yeah.
And Leslie's like, don't blame them. This is kind of my shit. But also, like, you know, they could make you feel better about it.
They
You know,
could.
they could be supporting you in the way that the Keggers supported Charlie when he injured his shoulder.
Yeah.
Um, that he needed a support system, and they provided one. Leslie needs a support system, and they're like, just don't bring it up.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, once people see something about you that is different from their own experience, they can be excited for a minute, but the minute you bring up something that is going to be uncomfortable for them or different
Mm-hmm.
from their own, then it's going to be the real test of whether or not they accept you.
Yeah. Um, and that's my problem with the progressives,
Ah, okay.
because they are dogmatic in their platform, and they are not interested in hearing the opinions of the person that they want to be their face. So they
Fair.
don't want Brandon. They want somebody else. They want somebody else who looks like Brandon. So when he comes in and has questions about what it is he's supposed to stand up and espouse, and they're like, mind your business. Just get up there and smile and clap, monkey. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, they want him. This is what they want. And Brandon is right to say, in Brandon's defense, he's right to say, I don't I don't agree with your platform positions.
Yeah.
Why do you want me to be out there like shouting them? If I'm not if if I don't have a say in what this is, then I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
And I think he's right. And I think Andy is kind of shitty. Like, when he introduces Josh and Andy to Steve, and she is immediately super fucking judgy. She's
Because
like,
she probably had her racist radar going on high alert. Like, can you
okay,
blame
but sure, yes, because he didn't do anything. Like, we know Steve's an asshole, and like maybe they did their like maybe they know all about Steve too, and they're just like, ugh. But
her
like,
about what you did to Herbert?
yeah, no shit. Look, you could have told the kid his ponytail was whack. You could have, at the very least, just saved this kid 3 years of ponytail strife. Um, so like, okay, maybe, but what we're given is she does not like him because he's in a frat, and Josh feels the same way, and Steve and Brandon's like one of my good friends from high school, and she's like, oh, high school friends. Well, you're not in high school anymore, so you need to ditch your old friends. Fuck them. And
I I get where they're coming from. Before the ditching your friends part, I get where they're coming from. Like, they've been in school. Who knows what kind of experience they've had with frat people? But
uh-huh.
I'm gonna say it's probably valid. However, you do have to let people learn on their own. You also need to let people be friends with who they're going to be friends with, because the minute you tell them you can't be friends with them anymore, then they're going to reject you really quickly.
Right. Because you're doing what you accuse the frats of doing.
Yeah.
You're accusing them of being elitist, and you are throwing up walls left and right because you don't want to deal with this person from this group that you have had a bad experience with. And like, there's a point to be made by Andrea and Josh with Brandon, which like is that's awesome. You have like your high school friends here, but you're in a new place and there are new people and new ideas to expose yourself to, and like you can become part of this larger community. Don't limit yourself. That's different than, well, you're not in high school anymore, Brandon.
Yeah.
And that's what she said and how she said it.
Yeah.
You know,
That leans into the next thing that I think this episode is really about, which is some friends help you grow and some keep you planted.
yeah, yeah.
And
And
like
I think,
either is either is fine, but you need to be okay with wherever you're leaning. You know, if you're leaning towards the people helping you grow, they'll help you grow. But if you're leaning towards the people to keep you planted, they're definitely going to keep you planted. Like
yeah,
Steve
and
wants you planted next to him, strangled by his roots.
oh yeah, 100%. Yep.
He is
But
devil's snare.
but what was it we were watching where they were talking about that it wasn't uh they weren't, oh, it was just fucking Dylan, when Dylan was like, I thought you were tying me down but you're just keeping me grounded.
Mm.
Like it can kind of go both ways.
Yeah.
Like neither one of those is on its face good or bad. They're like what you need at the time you need it. And Brandon's trying to figure that out, and they all are. I mean,
I mean, what does Brenda fucking want? I don't
well,
I don't
right
know.
now we
I
don't
don't think
know.
she knows.
Mm-hmm.
Um because I found it really interesting that this episode she seemed annoyed with the girls again, and I thought, fuck, are they writing her as one of those feminists who's like, no, it's just me. I can't work with other women. Um like I don't know. She's giving me some sad vibes, and I'm a Brenda fan, but
Mm-hmm.
she just seems to only question what her girlfriends want to do, and then she kind of it seems like she kind of likes being above it all, you know? Like
Mm-hmm.
she's slowly becoming a hipster. Um
Mm.
and yeah, I'll just be very interested to see. I don't know if that's also because they're leaning into like Shannon is being seen on the outer edges of the cast, and so they're writing Brenda
Mm.
this way. Like, um, yeah, I don't know how to interpret it, but it makes me a little sad because I'm like, you came home, you didn't like the people you were around in Minnesota with, and you immediately wrote them off, which was fair. They were not very nice, but you wrote off that whole campus and college experience and came home because you missed these people and this life, and now you're writing them off. Like, which is it, honey?
Yeah, I think I I think Brenda doesn't know what she wants. Um,
Fair.
and Brandon doesn't know what he wants either. Um, he doesn't want to waste his time. He wants like a full college experience. He doesn't want to coast through. He knows that, but he doesn't know what direction that will take for him or what direction he wants it to take. Kelly seems to know what she wants right now, except for maybe not, because this is John Sears guy and Dylan is over here. She's being pulled two directions. Dylan is very much in his own. He wants to kind of be left alone, um, and participate at his leisure. Um, Andreas doesn't really know what she wants.
But she
Donna
doesn't
is
want other people
struggling.
telling her. Kind of like
Right.
Brandon, she doesn't want other people telling her you know, what to want or expect from people. She's like, can I just figure it out on my own? Can I
Yeah.
do that? Do I look like I can't make decisions on my own?
Yeah. And like they're all trying to figure this out. They're all trying to figure out like where they fit in if that's what they want, or how to stand out if that's what they want. But one of the things this episode is really about is that you already know.
Mm.
Like you don't know necessarily what you want, but you do know what you don't want.
Mm-hmm.
Like you know almost immediately what doesn't feel right. Brandon knows he's known since last week that he doesn't really want to join this fraternity, but he's
Yeah.
he's going along, because he loves Steve and he wants, to do this with him and whatever. Andrea and Brenda both know the sororities are not for them.
Yeah.
They just know it. They're doing it because they want to maintain this friendship. They're doing it for someone else. But in their guts, they both know. They both know that this isn't right. Dylan knows that almost everything isn't for him. I mean, he barely wants to. He enjoyed being in the quad, I guess, that more in the student union area. And he got some classes that he's interested in. But he doesn't want to go to any parties. He mostly just wants to, like, it felt like they only had Luke for like 2 days that week. Like,
I know
he had
him.
conflicts. They were like, can you just show up at your house and then walk over here to this part of the stage where we're going to film the student union scenes, and then over to the Peach Pit set, and you'll be done by noon.
Like, him and Brenda are both being shown to be on the outskirts of this group, and like maybe the higher minded or the more unique thinkers, and like that'd be great if I thought it was going to go anywhere worthwhile. Like, if this were to ultimately end up with them running off and leaving the show together, cool. Be
Right.
messy till the day you die.
Right.
Like
the end of The Graduate.
Yeah. Oh man, that would be great. I know that's not what's going to happen.
I want Dylan to swing a cross at people. That's what I want.
I want Brenda to scream, Darren! And then both should be sitting in his car afterwards, just driving and the reality running across their face.
Yep. Like the end of, what the hell was that movie that we watched with Warren Beatty and Audrey Hepburn, with the cum waterfalls?
Oh, oh my God! Splendor in the Grass.
Splendor in the Grass.
That's Natalie Wood.
Natalie Wood. See, I told you I get those two confused all the time.
My God, completely forgot about that movie.
I forgot about the cum waterfalls.
What a distressing film.
Yep. Everybody, if you missed it, go back and listen to our Splendor in the Grass episode of the Peach.
And how I thought it was a completely different movie.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you've misremembered all of it.
And it's a big part of my lore.
It is.
Maybe not a big part, but it's definitely there.
It looms large in your legend. Okay. Do you have anything else that this episode might really have been about? Because I want to ask you a couple of questions that I didn't prepare you for, and I apologize because I didn't think of them until I sat down.
I want to hear the questions.
Okay. If the Peach Pod were a sorority, what would our song be?
Oh my God. If the Peach Pod were a sorority, what would our song be? Oh man, I don't know.
I don't know if I have one. Let's see. Yes, we do. We know exactly what our song would be.
Oh, tell me, please.
Switch it up. Because it ended racism and gang violence. Switch It Up has to be our song. It's the Peach Pod sorority song is Switch It Up.
Fine.
It's either that or You're So Precious to Me.
Yeah.
And I'm precious to you. Okay, what are our colors?
Blush and Bashful.
Oh, I look terrible in Bashful.
No, our colors are obviously blue and pink. Again, for the Peach Pit.
That's right. Okay, I like it. Also, I would have accepted green because the Peach Butters are green room. What is our philanthropy?
Saving ears around the world from the horrors that they keep listening to. Listen to us instead, because guess what? You're going to feel terrible no matter what, but we'll make you feel good for an hour.
That's right. For a whole hour, maybe hour 15. Hour 30 if we're talking about Rocky 4.
Like, that shit's still going to be there. You can read about it, listen to it in your own time, but us, Come
That's right.
on.
That's right.
You need a hug. Your ears need a hug.
That's right. Ear hugs. That's us. Ear hugs. Um, yeah, I think the Cheesemeisters are our philanthropy.
Yeah.
We do this is an act of love, you guys. We're just here
This
for
is
you.
taking everything that caused you angst as a teen and making it funny and ridiculous. Taking you
Mm-hmm.
everything that gives you angst now and making it ridiculous and putting a fun spin on it. I'm just as depressed and anxious as the next person, but this keeps me going.
That's right. This is our fuel. So
Okay, so we
you
just did
have
questions.
something else that this episode might really be about?
Just one other thing, and I couldn't help but note the gang seems like they need a break from each other because they are all
Mm,
acting very annoyed.
that's interesting.
Like
Yeah.
they're forcing them all to be in. It's like the 90210 gang is trying to force them all into a fraternity called West Beverly. Moving on,
Mm, sure.
but people are wanting to branch out and try other things as you're supposed to do in college. But
Mm-hmm.
like Donna seems really annoyed with David, as she should be. Steve really annoyed with Brandon. Brenda seems annoyed with the girls. You know, it's like they feel they're not allowed to go off and make other friends, which on a TV show it would be complicated. You still need your core people to all
Mm-hmm.
be together. Um, but it just seems like they're really fighting.
Yeah, they're not comfortable. That's for sure. Like they're not a cohesive group anymore. You know,
No.
and you see them making efforts to force that into being. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
the girls are doing this thing together so that they can be together. When all through West Bev, the four of them very rarely did anything together. You know, it's like they are trying to imprint their own incorrect nostalgic versions of their group dynamic onto their new reality when those were never true. You know, like
Yeah.
not Dylan, Steve and Brandon hung out a lot, but they were never a part of the same organization. You know, like Brandon was always doing his thing. He was always working at the Peach Pit, or
Yeah.
um, or he was always writing for the school paper, or he was always doing his thing, and Steve was there. You know, now they're trying to
Yeah.
say in order for us to continue our same best friend dynamic, we have to like immerse together, which is not how the relationship has ever been. So that's going to be weird. The girls, Donna and Kelly, are now living together, which is very
Mm-hmm.
different than what had been happening before. Brenda is still living at home. Andrea is still living with Grandma Rose, one assumes. Um,
No, Andrea's in the dorm.
oh, fuck. You're right. Because they gave her a computer and a printer and everything. God damn.
Yeah.
Andrea just got. And you know what else they gave her? Dan Rubin. Bringing his sweaty ass into her dorm room all the time and eating popcorn. Fucking
I
Reichard in
know.
that chair. Like,
Yeah, he is.
yeah, Dan Rubin is there.
I meant to tell you too, the Dawson's Creek episode that I watched this morning, uh, they're all talking about college and Pacey and Joey are having a conversation and Joey pretty much has a joke aimed at 90210 going like, oh, well, obviously there will be some fictional school that pops up that will put us all together ultimately.
Mm-hmm. You just didn't
On the
know.
fucking
You
nose.
just didn't know before. Now you get to enjoy Dawson's Creek on a whole other level.
It's just adding. Listen,
Yeah.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. I really could do a lecture series on Dawson's Creek. And now there's going to be a whole other portion about how Dawson's Creek, the anti 90210.
Yeah, they were definitely trying for that. I mean, that's part of the deal. Okay, so Leslie, prediction time. We've been introduced to some new characters, some of whom will flit away. Some of them will stick around to various lengths and degrees. So let me ask you, what do you think is going to happen with Dan Rubin? What part does he play in our adventures moving forward?
Dan Rubin is the grad student, correct?
Yeah, her RA. Yeah, Andrea's RA.
Okay.
Perpetual grad student. Sweaty bike guy.
I'm so confused because he was hitting on her both times, but this time she was already she started doing this playful thing like, oh, we could never date. I'm like, why not? Get some, Andrea. Like, so yeah, I feel like there's gonna be something there.
Okay.
My spidey senses haven't been tingling about what it might be yet. There could be a potential power dynamic kind of thing problem, but it was a great way to describe it. But timey-wimey.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I really think that, I would. Here's where they're lulling me into a false sense of security. I wouldn't mind them dating. Why not? He's a grad student. She's not in his classes. Yes, she's on his floor and he's the RA, so like, okay, maybe some problems there, but like, I'm curious. I haven't been given reason yet to worry about him.
Okay. Speaking of people that you've been given reason to worry about, what do you think is going to happen with John Sears?
Kelly's going to have to learn the hard way that assholes don't change. That if he started a rumor about you in high school and was a prick then, he probably still is, because while college is all about teaching you to open your mind and broaden your scope of things, it doesn't do that very well when you're drinking and partying all the time. So I think he's just gotten good about changing up his tactics to get laid. I think he's going to throw a wrench in Kelly and Dylan, which is going to be super stupid and cliche, because if this is why they break up, oh my God. I don't want to dislike Kelly, but I guess it's been a while since she made a stupid choice. Yeah, I don't like where that's probably going to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about Josh Richland?
I have no idea. I feel like that story's unfortunately done, but I would be I don't know, he's probably going to still keep going after Brandon because for some reason Brandon is, I don't know, everyone's white horse or something, or no, white whale. That's it, white whale. And Brandon is Moby Dick. He is a dick, and everyone wants him for some reason. It isn't Brandon wants a little cutie. It's Brandon is wanted by everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Not my best on that, but it's true.
Yep, you could have,
and I don't get it.
You could have sung that outside of a sorority, no problem.
Yeah.
So how did the episode end for you? By the way, good job on those predictions.
Thank you.
They're interesting. There are places where you are dead on. There are places where you can't possibly guess what's going to happen. Too fucking convoluted to imagine, but here we are.
Someone's going to start a fire. I don't know.
You're funny.
Thank you.
Also, everybody, do you see my face? Not.
No. Oh my God.
I didn't say anything.
The keg house is gonna get set on fire because John is gonna attempt to seduce Kelly and she's gonna fall for it briefly, and then Dylan's gonna get upset, and then the whole house is gonna burn to the ground, and it'll be amazing. Anyway.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if there's a fire anywhere ever. Shoot, the fire. You brought up the fire and it confused me and made me. Oh, I want to know where the episode ended for you if you didn't get the girls singing Que Sera Sera.
It ended after Brandon being told he would be an honorary member and him and Steve having kind of a bro moment.
So there wasn't a Peach Pit sorority meeting at the end?
What?
Okay, so here's how the episode ends. The girls come back together at the Peach Pit, and they are Andrea, and they're like debriefing. And Andrea's out and Brenda's out, but Kelly and Donna both want to keep going with the Alphas. But they've decided that like they don't need to be in a sorority to be friends with one another. This can be the sorority. So they have to have meetings once a week because that's what sororities do. So you have to come to the Peach Pit and we'll meet once a week. And their colors are like green and chrome or something. And Brenda looks terrible in chrome, just like she said she looks bad in blush or nude or whatever earlier.
That's why she's wearing black all the time now.
Nat is their philanthropy, as he should be. Just take care of Nat, everybody. I think we're all in agreement there. And then when they choose their song, they choose Que Sera Sera because that's what the Alpha girls were singing when they were singing their fake song. So
they all found a pair of pants
that
magically fit them all. And now they're going to travel and share the pants and write letters, and it's going to be beautiful. That's where I want it to go.
Share your pants, everybody. That's our edict.
Yeah.
Share your pants. Gross. But not your underwears.
No.
Clean underwear for all. Or no underwear, whatever. I don't care. Let your freak flag fly. Do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Okay. What does this episode make you nostalgic for?
So my freshman year, I briefly thought about rushing because I, like many people, was struggling to form friendships.
You want to find your place. Sure.
Yeah. And then I got into the Singing Hoosiers, and that helped a ton.
Mm-hmm.
But my big sis in Singing Hoosiers was in a sorority and invited me over one night to watch Grey's Anatomy, like you do.
Uh-huh.
And I get there, and it's a million other, like, maybe not a million, it's like many other freshman girls have been invited, and I went, oh, I have been used. This is a thing. And
it's a pre-rush.
I don't know why. It kind of bothered me. I didn't like being brought there under false pretenses.
Sure.
Did I enjoy getting to sit in a well-furnished mansion for the evening? Yes, I did. And had I known what my future was going to be like, I would have stolen more snacks.
Oh, there you go.
But I didn't. So yeah, it was interesting. They did a little walkabout after and like showing people around and talking about it. But yeah, it left a weird taste in my mouth. And I was like, okay, well, fun to watch Grey's Anatomy. I think I'll stick with the Singing Hoosiers as my frat.
There you go. Well, you found your place. I never rushed. But my sophomore year when I transferred into IU, because there wasn't really any Greek life at University of Indianapolis. There were actual Greeks. Like there was an exchange student program with people from Greece. I knew people from Greece, but there was no Greek life in the way that you think that I mean.
Yeah.
So, but when I went to IU, like I went to a bunch of frat parties at the start of sophomore year because that's what the guys in your dorm were doing. Hey, we're going to go to a party. You want to go? So you go to the party. I never had any intention of rushing. And I think I did it wrong because I was very upfront about my total lack of interest in joining a frat. Because you go to these parties and it's, free beer, and it's, I didn't know that I didn't know that by going there, I was agreeing to their timeshare pitch. Like, I just thought they're having a party. Great. Because fuck do I know? But really what it is a recruitment tool. They're opening their house. Yep. They're bringing all these people in. All of the upperclassmen are going around and talking to, oh, so are you Russian? Which house are you thinking about? Blah, blah, blah. Here, you want a beer? Hit the keg. Well, so, and what I should have done, and, should's a bad word, but if I'd been thinking about it, I would have told every house that I was very interested in their house and gotten as much positive out of it as possible. instead of what I did was like when everybody they'd be like, "So are you interested?" Like, no, I don't want to do this shit. Like I'm not
Yeah.
at all interested in joining your fraternity life. Um, and here's why. This is my understanding of sororities are different, right? Because their houses um, don't host all of the parties. Like
No.
sorority houses, no one just pisses on the floor in the basement every Friday. That just doesn't happen. Frat houses are fucking gross. They're the
Yeah.
they're they're the nastiest places that you could ever want to live. And they are expensive. Like it costs more to live in the frat than it does to live in the dorm.
Yeah.
So, and most of your money when you pay it into a fraternity, as I understand it, goes into the social fund. And most of the social fund gets used to buy beer. Shitty beer.
Yep.
And not shitty beer for you. Shitty beer for strangers. So to my mind, you have to pay more to live in a dump, and most of your money is going to buy bad beer for people you don't know.
Ew.
That sounded horrible to me. Like none of
Yeah.
that is appealing. It sounds like a huge waste. I know lots of people who really enjoyed their fraternity life and are still friends with their frat brothers. And I married someone who was in a sorority, which is so not her vibe, but she definitely was in a sorority. Um, like, like I'm connected to this shit, whatever. But I was not interested, and I was very upfront about it, and I should have not. I should have just.
So we both made the same mistake. We both should have worked the system
I think
and
so
gotten,
because like
that's fitting for us.
if if I'll tell you this 100%, if I'd been invited over to a sorority house to watch Grey's Anatomy and walked in and there were a lot of freshman girls there, I would have had a different reaction than you.
Well, because you're walking in as you.
Walking in like a horny 19-year-old is what I'm walking in like.
Yeah. I think the only thing I remember about that house is their animal was the panda. And I'm like, well, that's cute.
There you go.
But I liked when I felt special.
I get it. When you feel like you're just being invited to hang out and then it turns out it's like a Amway event or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah. It's weird.
I had a different nostalgia corner, but I'll save it.
Oh.
Because it's applicable.
Oh, okay.
It's applicable to many future endeavors. So, who is your Steve Sanders Memorial Worst Person of the Episode?
As usual, I'm torn because those boys on the front lawn were just
They're pretty bad.
Gross.
Guys, it's the 90s.
Yeah, and as we've learned, the 90s was not as progressive as we thought, so shut up, Charlie.
He was trying. He was trying to make it less bad. He just wasn't out there fast enough.
Guys, it's the 90s. We don't rate women. We just, we don't listen to them.
That's right.
I think it's Steve for me. Like, he was being such a bad friend. He was being so annoying and so possessive. Yeah, he bothered me the most. And, was just typical Steve the whole time. But he really got my goat. And no one else. I mean, John Sears, it's going to be you soon. I know it's going to be you. So I'm just going to wait. I'm going to bide my time, wait to find out that I'm right, and scream.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
All right. For me, it's Andy. I think I think she is super judgmental. I think she's like curt and rude. Like her whole like, well, you're not in high school anymore, Brandon, so fuck your old friends. Like, I don't like that. I think that's shitty. I don't like how she wouldn't listen to anyone's ideas that weren't hers.
Probably because no one ever listens to hers. Like,
I get okay, but like we literally just met her, and the only thing I've seen of her is she's rude.
yeah, they did the thing that they do to any like black female characters. They make them strong and vocal, and then they write it that way so that we never want to see them again, and it's awful. So my ire would be with the writers then bringing in this interesting character who's giving Brandon the pushback he deserves. And granted, for the fact that they want to bring him in, okay, maybe you need to curtail that a little bit, because like you said you want to bring him in. Why do you want to bring him in? Or if you don't really want to bring him in, take it up with the guy who actually wants him in here.
Right.
Um, but again, your feelings are your feelings. I wasn't bothered by her.
I
liked her.
really didn't like the no, you're done. Like,
Yeah.
fuck right off, lady. Like, are we not here to work together? I was like, are we not here to work together? You want me to be your latex salesman. Whatever. Like, you want me to go out there and like, shout the party line, but you won't. Like, I'm just supposed to take whatever you're saying as gospel, have no thought of my own, just be your little progressive monkey. And like, I don't like how uninterested in other people's opinions she is.
You know what it is? And this is really unfortunate, and this is something that I get really annoyed with other women for doing. She's doing the thing that other women do when they feel like, well, if I'm the only woman in here, the only way they're going to listen to me is if I'm as abrasive and aggressive and rude as a man. And then they like make that part of their personality. And, sometimes it works for them and they get to keep their position, and other times it doesn't. And they get voted Steve Sanders' worst person of the episode.
Yeah. I'm irritated at her for doing the same shit that Brandon does that irritates me about Brandon.
And that makes sense.
Like, I'm being consistently irritated with people who are rude.
Sure.
And she bugged me in this episode.
Well, as we've pointed out, I'm not balanced.
That's fine. You don't have to be. Totally unbalanced. It's fine. All right. So I think we did it. So join us here on Friday, Cheesemeisters, when, for reasons that are tenuous at best, we are going to watch Good Morning Vietnam.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I got no problem with it. We got a zig and zag left and right here. I haven't seen Good Morning Vietnam in a long time. This is another one of those take it off Showtime free weekend things for me. So I've seen it a bajillion times. But
I've never seen
it. You'll like the funny parts and you'll be sad at the sad parts. Yeah.
Well, I just finished MASH, so I'm ready to be devastated again.
Okay, well, good job.
To laugh and cry at the same time. That's what I'm ready for.
Okay, well then we might have chosen the right movie for you.
For another country we had no business in bothering.
Oh, there's a whole thing there. So that's Friday, Cheesemeisters. But join us here again next week when we watch season 4, episode 5, Radio Days. And things start to happen. I feel like we've been treading water a little bit. Like the first 4 episodes of this season, it's just been a lot of exploration, trying to like find our way in. I think some things jump up a notch next weekend a little bit. So,
oh boy,
so that'll be all right. But until then, Cheesemeisters.
Bye.
Bye.